All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Across the Table, where the drinks are cold, the mics are hot, and the conversations are fire. Sitting across the table from me is the only man that has ever dragged me off the stage by my legs.
The movie life.
Actor, author, content creator, Deonte Moss. How are you,
Blessed
sir?
and highly flavored. I'm glad to be across the table from you, sir. Across the table.
Okay, I see what this is gonna be. I see what this is gonna be. Okay, now I start all of my interviews by asking this one question:
Okay.
how are you? Not Deonte Moss, the author, not the content creator. How are you as Deonte?
I'm in a good place. I'm growing. I think I'm growing, and I see it, and I appreciate where the position that God has me in right now. So I get excited when I think about what's in the future for me, what's in the future for my family, my wife, my kids, my circle, and I'm blessed right now, man. I'm just a blessed individual.
Man, that is good to hear. The reason why I asked that is because, we as men, we really don't like ask that. Like, how are you? You know what I'm saying? And
I
then,
know I had to think about when you. I'm like, damn, that was a good question.
Yeah.
You really care about what I feel? I really felt that when you asked me that. I said, how I feel? Like, that was good. You know I'm going to ask something, but now I got to ask a couple of people, how do you,
Right,
men
like,
know. 'Cause
right.
like you said, how often are we asked that? That's how we starting across the table. All right. Across the table.
Oh, man. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Where did the nosy neighbor come from? How did you get that started?
So the first nosy neighbor I ever did was just really I was trying to make my wife laugh, and we had some neighbors that was outside. It was a phone call made. The police showed up, and we had a neighbor that was kind of going off a little bit. So the police came up. So I really was just trying to be nosy, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. But I just grabbed the first thing when I was coming out of my house, which was a vacuum cleaner. So I grabbed. So I grabbed the vacuum cleaner. I go in the middle of the street, and I'm just trying to get close as I can. But then the police came in the street too, so I kind of like did a little shimmy, turned around, kept vacuuming.
Vacuum in the street?
Yeah, vacuum in the street. And then I kept vacuuming, and then they was like, I felt like they was on me, like So then I posted that video, and it instantly went viral. And after that, I just had to keep making them for a little bit. But those first couple of videos went viral, but I had to stop. I actually took a hiatus from social media for about 3 or 4 months because I was in the middle of doctoral school, and I had not finished my dissertation yet. And I felt like God said, hey, dude, you need to handle your business first. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Handle your business. You was funny then. You'll be funny later. Do what I told you to do first. So then I brought it back. Actually, I wasn't really even thinking about it no more. After I thought I had made like 15 to 20 videos, and they was doing kind of numbers. And I was like, man, I want to keep up the success because I want to start getting paid from the social media. But then I ended up switching after I took like a 3 or 4 month hiatus. And then I didn't think nothing. I wasn't really on social media no more. And then I posted a video called I'm Back, where I was mopping the street in the same situation. And then that one was even bigger than the vacuum cleaner. That got like 30 million on Facebook, which is very hard to do on Facebook. TikTok is like where you can really get a lot of views. So I ended up, putting them on TikTok, and it started going crazy. But I didn't even get all the numbers from some of those videos because other people had took them from Facebook and put them on TikTok before me, and they went up going crazy. So I was like, this is what they want to see. This is the content they want.
You were mopping the street.
Oh, yes, with a bucket that had holes in it. With no water. And the police is looking at me like crazy, like,
I'd have looked at you like you was crazy too. You mopping the street.
yeah. And I was able to sell that video and some content creators and clip people from the Instagram and all that was able to buy that from me, and they put it everywhere and it's going everywhere. So hey, so now I became a small media company by putting out digital content. Yep. So now I get paid for all the videos I make. So end up working out, which is a residual income that I didn't account for, but that's how God worked. And then I kept doing it because I started marketing my book. That's when I started putting the book in the grills and incorporating the book, ironing the book and stuff like that. Then the police station started noticing me.
I was about to ask you about that. How did you get them to get involved?
Man, you know what? They was just really happy that wasn't nobody put nothing bad out about them. So every time I would see them, they would be so excited. Like, I seen your videos, hey man, thanks for shedding a positive light. You're funny. You know what I'm saying? My wife, my kids enjoy you. I enjoy you. We look forward to the next video. Keep doing it. And then when I started talking to the reporters, because they did news stories on it and all the things of that nature, they started talking about how it was bridging the gap between the police force and the community, because it was bringing together everything in a positive light for a laugh, which has been very hard lately for police to, because with all the shootings and things of that nature, and all our first responders, they kind of get some heat, so it was good to provide some positivity to and sell some books.
Let's talk about the book, Moss and Marriage.
Oh yes, that's our that is our social media ministry, is what we call it. It's Moss and Marriage. Is God, me, and my wife, because I feel like the only way you can do marriage is with God. You know what I'm saying? We got a book coming out called Goals. God oversees all love stories.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this ministry was started to help share skills and tools about marriage with people who are married, and we just sharing the skills and tools that we use together, and we just share with other people, and it just being able to be in a lot of good and fire content that we've been sharing on social media, on Instagram, we on Twitter, we on, of course, Facebook. We even have a website, martialmarriage.com, where our books are available, and worksheets and all kind of things are available on that. So
links to everything will be in the description, by the way.
Yeah. So ended up working out. Yeah.
So you just had one outlet branch out into like 4 or 5, not even knowing it.
Man, just growing with God, just listening, being in position and having them tell me and my wife what to do. Honestly, I couldn't see the success of it at first, but I just did what he told me to do, and then it blossomed, which is how God worked.
Well, I just learned something. What brought about your relationship with God? Because right now I'm seeing, especially in like mainstream media, a lot of people are questioning God, the Bible, if it's real, if it's fake, who wrote it, who didn't, is it misogynist, is it you know what I'm saying, all of these questions that people are asking. How do you keep your relationship with God through all of the questioning that's happening with that?
Yeah, before I would even study the word intensely, before I earned, because my doctoral degree is in theology, but before I would even study the word, it was my personal relationship with God that drew me to him. I know he's real because I felt him get me out of these situations that I had to overcome in my life. See, I grew up with a foster care, 10 different foster homes, 4 different group homes. You know what I'm saying? My mother was addicted to drugs.
I never knew that.
Prostitute. My father was in and out of prison. I can count how many times I seen him before I was an adult. So I had all this stuff and that I didn't know how to deal with, and I was coping with. And honestly, my faith got me through my journey. You know what I'm saying? Those nights when I was at home at the group homes by myself and in tears, I really depended on God to help me and get me through everything, which I felt like I came out solid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't have the same story that I have of success coming from where I come from. A lot of my brothers that was in foster care with or in groups homes with are incarcerated, dead, and they don't tell the same story that I tell. So I don't take it lightly, about the calling or I feel like the anointing that's on my life. So I just continue to, just do what he tell me to do because I feel like it's the best path. So it's been my personal relationship that really made me understand who God was.
Where does one start to try to gain a personal relationship with the divine creator? Like, how does that even begin?
So how I started was prayer. Yep. So how I started basically was prayer. So my title of my book is called Pushed. Pray until something happens every day. And that's the acronym. But a lot of people think prayer is just getting on your knees and closing your eyes and talking to God. But I think prayer is a mindset where you keep your mind on God. So even when I really necessarily didn't really know how to pray, I will always talk to God and make sure that I will keep my mind focused on Him, which will help me through a lot of different types of situations. Because I sometimes personally I might not have the strength to deal with what my mom was doing or what my father was doing or what my life was doing or what people around me were doing. But I felt like God gave me that strength because I depended on Him. So it's really just really depending on God and trusting Him. Like He's a father, which I try to mold the best of my ability as a father, cater to how God treats me. I know I can trust Him. I know He loves me unconditionally. I know He's a provider, a protector, Jehovah Jireh, and he he's always been that to me. So I kind of mold myself as a man and even a father or anything else that I do based off those, those concrete steps and foundation. So I would start with, just the relationship part. Just start talking to him, and which is prayer to me. I think prayer is watching YouTube videos, listening to music, worship. You know what I'm saying? It's a variety of things that you can do. I think whenever you have a conversation with God or whatever, whenever you're talking to him or you keeping your mind on him, that's prayer. You don't always have to be on your knees and whatever.
I was just about to ask that. Does it always have to start with our Father who art in heaven or something like that? Or
Absolutely
can it
not.
just be me sitting at this table right here saying, hey, God, let's talk?
I talk to God like a regular person. Like I'm having fun with him. I'm talking to him. And I've even talked to God some ways that people are like, you ain't talking to God like that. Yeah, but that's how the relationship I have with him. You know what I'm saying? So, and my wife's the same way. She talks to him like, we have real regular conversations with God on our own time and also together. We get up and we pray together every morning together at 5 a.m. before we hit the gym. So this is concrete. This has been our process and our routine for a while. And I can't deny the success of it. You know what I'm saying? Of living for God. So I can't. It's a great process. It's a wonderful process. And He just cover you, take care of you, take care of His kids. He's a good father. He's a good father. He's a great father.
Let's shift gears for a minute,
Yes, sir.
because the main reason why I started this platform
Uh-huh.
is because I want to be a husband
Uh,
and I want to be a father within the covenant of a marriage. I always said that I never wanted to have children out of wedlock.
yeah.
Had a lot of scares. I'm gonna hold you.
Mhm.
But by the grace of the divine creator and the skin of my teeth, I made it.
Yeah.
You and your wife, y'all genuinely love each other, and you can tell.
Shout out to the Dr. Moss. Dr. K-Pay Boss out there. Yeah, that's my baby. Yeah. Boss wife.
I gotta ask, what about her made you say, hey, I'm about to spend the rest of my life with you?
I didn't know at first. I had an idea. I wanted her, but I didn't know that. I honestly believe she was a gift from God. And I think God gives the best gifts. I don't know if she was like everything that I thought I wanted at first, but God made it clear to me that it was like supposed to be her. So I accepted that, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. She was really a gift from God. And I known her since I was 12. Yep, I known her. She moved from Wisconsin here because her grandmother and her mom worked at Chrysler. And I met her at King Pool with her little brother and little sister. I was with my two little sisters, and she asked me to kiss her underwater. Yep, at King Pool, and I couldn't. Even, I couldn't swim. I still can't swim to this day, but I almost died. I went in there and got it. Like, oh. Then I wouldn't see her for years after that. I wouldn't see her for years. And then we ended up eventually in college. We was working at the Boys and Girls Club, and we reconnected. And even then, we were just friends for forever. Like, she had a boyfriend when she was first at the Boys and Girls Club. I had a girlfriend, and it kind of just all fell apart. And we ended up together. Like, and it was just like, it worked. And it was kind of crazy because when we first started talking, she told me, this is what she told me. She said, if you're not trying to marry me, don't talk to me. I'm like, who do you think you is? Like,
So she was intentional.
yeah, she was like, I know what because she was, in a place with God in position, and she was ready to be a wife. She's like, if you're not trying to marry me, don't talk to me. And I'm like, I can't believe she would even say that to me, but okay, yes, I want to talk to you. And we got married. What they would say might be pretty quickly, because I think when you know, you know. We had got married within 11 months. Yeah, we got married 11/11/11. Yeah, and this year we'd be celebrating 11 years of marriage. Yeah,
Numbers in sequence.
yeah. So she making me take her somewhere this year because she like, it's 11/11/11, and it's the 11th year. You better. So I've been trying to work hard, man, get my money right. Take some. Oblige her. Wishes. Happy wife, happy life, happy house, happy spouse.
Wow. Sheesh.
Yeah, but she was a gift from God, man. Hands down, gift from God. I didn't, I knew God had something for me, but I couldn't imagine it being this. And she's genuine. And don't get us wrong, we got our ups and downs, and that's why one of our mottos for Moss and Marriage is don't do marriage alone. That's why we include God in that piece, because I think she probably would have gave up on me if it was just her and me, or vice versa, me and her. But I think God always been a glue to our relationship, so it made us always look at the bigger picture and communicate and use the skills and tools that we share in Moss and Marriage with other people and other couples, to use to genuinely make our relationship work. So. And we still using those tools like today, right now, all the time.
So it's like a practice what you preach kind of deal.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, that's usually what it is. I'm learning tools and skills as we speak, and I'm just sharing them as I get them with other married couples. That's always kind of been what the ministry or the movement of Moss and Marriage has been, so. Yeah.
This is dope, because you rarely hear about marriages lasting longer than 5 years. They say the average marriage lasts 5 years and then it's a wrap, and you and your wife over a decade.
Yeah, over 50% don't make it in the divorce. Yeah.
Sheesh. We'll be in touch. Children?
Yes, I have 2 daughters. Be 21 this year and 19. My daughter just graduated high school. She just graduated high school. She could have graduated early, but she declined that offer because she wanted to go to prom. And she wanted to have a chance to be valedictorian of her class and stuff like that, in which she ended up being the prom queen, like her sister and like her father, who was king as well. So it's like, oh, the blood thick, man. You royalty over here. God is good. You know what I'm saying? So she was able to do that, which was cool. And that was amazing. But, yep, 19. She'll be 19 this year in November. And I have another daughter that'll be 21 July 4th to 4th of July. And I just recently became a grandfather. Yeah, so I'm a grandfather now. I got an 8-month-old grandson.
MG.
Yeah. So that's a different kind. That's a different kind of tone right there. Grandfather. I said, look, man, you gotta call me GP.
Yeah, man, we young out here.
Yeah, man. I'm still like, I ain't trying to let it go. Like, I feel like I'm still young. which is kind of, you know what? That's a part of the testimony too. I had my kids young, man. I was 15 when I had my first daughter, which is part of the testimony. And I planned it because I thought, you know, I knew I was going to be taken away from my mom again because I knew she was out in the streets. So I thought that we actually planned it. Me and my girl at the time, my high school sweetheart or whatever, we planned this baby because we thought they wouldn't take us away from each other. But of course that happened. But that's just because I didn't have any rules. Nobody taught. I did whatever I wanted to at that age, at a young age. My mom was out there in the streets, and me and my sisters basically did whatever we want, whenever we want, however we wanted it. So it was just 14-year-old, 15-year-old thinking, and we planned it. But it's kind of, you know, and I always promote, you know, like you said earlier, you gotta wait. You know, it's always best to do it in the practice of what God says. You know, which is in the confinements of marriage and stuff like that, because I feel like you have to deal with consequences of your decisions when you don't do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? One might have to deal with having kids at an early age. You know, you might not. I feel like I'm just now ready to be a father. Like, and I say that because I feel like I'm wise enough. Because the maturity level right there, I was really growing up with my kids, like I was a kid, really, like growing up with my kids, trying to figure it out. Like I had no clue what I was doing, what I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And if I look back on it, I probably would have did some things differently. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I've always been trying to, you know, figure it out. But God blessed me with two amazing young ladies and a grandson. So I'm excited. And now I'm a little bit older, but I'm still kind of young, and my kids is grown. So I'm like, good, you know what I'm saying? So it all worked out.
What's it like being a husband? And what does facilitating the role of husband look like?
It's work. I don't want to take anybody to take that lightly, but it's worth it. Being a husband has made me a better man. And I say that because of trial, tribulation, and just dealing with situations and trying to figure out. I don't always have the answers, but that's why I include God in that mix, because I feel like because I honor him in our relationship, my wife she's being led by me, and she listens and she does, you know, but she only, I think the real reason is because she know I trust God. I'm gonna listen to God, and I think that's a major key. You know what I'm saying? If she knew it was just Deonte running the ship, she'd be like, huh? But she know I'm going to go to God. So she like, okay, yeah, that's godly. Yeah, I see. Okay. So I think she honors that. And, you know, it comes with work. It comes with communication. It comes with trial. It comes with tribulation. But being a husband is one of the best things that I ever done. One of the hardest things I've ever done, but it's worth it. It's worth it when you start getting it right and handling business and doing it. And you still gonna mess up, make mistakes, but it works out, I believe, in the end for the better.
Now, when you say it's one of the hardest things, elaborate.
It's literally the hardest thing that I've ever had to do was like be connected to someone and be open all the way with someone, and they know everything in and out, and try to, you know, make everything happen. You know, I'm talking about we dealing with everything, like to the cleanliness of the house, to the attitudes, it's every, you know, I know my wife get mad at me, my stuff be all over, but you know, you just got to deal with so it's like, I'm always trying to, you know, keep myself on my toes and figure out what, you know, how she's feeling, what she's doing, and, you know, trying to control my feelings and what I'm doing and how we say things. It's you never stop being a husband. So it's 24/7, 365. So even when I'm asleep, I still got to make certain decisions. Like, I don't really feel like her laying on my chest and killing my arm tonight, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what, you know, it's sacrifice. It's sacrifice, and you know, I'm in a mode and a place where, you know what I'm saying, I'm making sacrifices and I'm making sure that she's in a good place, but I'm making sure myself is in a good place, and we just figuring it out together. We're growing together. We literally are growing together. You change in your marriage over the time. The same thing that, you know, we battle with in the beginning, we don't battle with now. And then sometimes we, you know, it's a forever changing, and we're forever figuring it out. But it's just, I'm happy that we're doing it together. You know what? Because I seen a stat not too long ago when they was talking about how would you rather find what you was looking for, or would you rather grow and communicate what you're looking for with a special person? And I think me and my wife have been able to grow together, and I think that becomes very special when you can mold and learn together how to communicate and how to live with each other and how to respect each other. Because conversations will know. You know what I'm saying? But I can see the growth. So it's like a more of appreciation, like, dang, look how far we come, babe. Look how far we come. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, you know, it's a good thing. It's worth it. I think marriage is definitely worth it. It's not for everybody, but it's worth it.
It's not for everybody, but it's worth it.
If it's for you. Yeah.
How,
That's even in the word, you know.
how does one decide if marriage is for them or not?
You know, that's a very good question. That's a tough question. I think it's really a personal decision, you know. You know, because we have people in the Bible like Paul, and, you know, they were saying that, you know, it wasn't for them and stuff like that, and they you know, can live their life and make those sacrifices. But I don't know. I needed it, though. I needed it. I needed a wife. I needed my good thing. So I ain't never had that experience. I always needed my good thing. Especially when I got married, I got the good thing. Oh my God. Good things, great things. I'm allowed to talk about all that stuff now. I'm married.
Hey, we open on across the table. You can talk.
There's some things you just can't live without. Thank you. Shout out to my wife. Woo! Boss of marriage. Boss wife. That's a great thing over there. God get the best gifts, bro. Woo! You get the best gifts. I got a great thing.
Oh man. What's it like being a father, and what does facilitating the role of father look like?
Oh man, that's such a good question. But I think it depends on perspective too. When you think about it, my Father's Day was a little different this year. I wanted to purposely seek out perspectives, which gives me a learning ability to be a better father. Of course, I don't take my fatherness lightly, because I feel like I've made some mistakes and decisions that could have been better. But, you know, honoring God and taking those qualities that I get from God and passing it down to my children. But just recognizing, just like, because I've had a foster dad that raised me, and that was different. You know, shout out, and matter of fact, can I say that? Shout out to all the fathers who didn't even have kids that took the time to be father figures to other kids, or the stepfathers who respected their stepkids and raised them, or even the significant others, you know, or even, and this was a big one for me that I had to realize this year. Shout out to the fathers who weren't necessarily there like they should have been, but got it together for the bigger picture. I salute you, because I had an empty place in my heart, honestly, because I saw my, you know, I can count how many times I seen my father growing up.
You and me both.
And a lot of people don't celebrate Father's Day because they didn't have the proper relationship with their father that they thought they should have. So, and it's like the least celebrated holiday. It's like 20 on the list. You know, you got Christmas, then Mother's Day, and then I can't even name 18 other holidays between that. I know, like, Halloween is 6 and Arbitrary Day is 13. I don't even know what that is. But Father's Day is like 20. You know
Arbitrary Day?
I don't even know what that day. I don't even know what that holiday is. But it's before Father's Day. Okay? Because that's how least it's celebrated. But to have, my father not know, seeing him. I see my father in a corner store one time as a kid, and he didn't recognize me, and I died that day because I was like, "How you don't know me and I'm your son?" I'm like, "Hey, ain't you?" He like, "Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, look." I'm like, "Dude, that's my daddy. He don't know who I am." And I went to go visit my grandmother, which is his mom. I call her Nana. Everybody got a Nana or a Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? Went to go visit, and I think the only reason why he recognized me is because I was visiting my grandmother. He was like, son, my father, he had been drinking. He'd be drink all the time and stuff like that back then and all this stuff. So he'd be like, son. I'm like, you ain't my dad. You don't even know who I am. We ended up getting into a fist fight that day. Full-fledged fist fight. I'm like 12, 13. He was yelling in my face, spitting. And, sometimes when they yell, they be spitting. And I was wiping it off. I said, don't spit in my face. He said, I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. That's a common phrase for adults to kids. And I punched my dad.
Shit.
I hit my dad with the crispiest right hand cross I've ever thrown in my life. My dad fell back, fell to the ground. I thought I knocked my daddy out. But that day I learned the difference between a grown man and a little boy. Because my father been in prison, for a while, so he always was solid. Big upper body, had little legs. Didn't really work out his legs. A lot of people in prison don't work out their legs. Y'all need to start working out your legs.
Never skip leg day.
Yeah, never skip leg day. But, so that's probably why he fell. He was a little wobbly, the little legs. But he got up and choked the life out of me. Held me by my neck. And you know how you do something wrong and you be trying to, justify it afterwards? Like, I was trying to say I'm sorry because I know I didn't want that heat. But he had me, choking the life out. I couldn't even talk. That's how my Nana grabbed a napkin and started hitting him, beating him. Boom, get off him. I'm like, Nana, I'm about to die. Hit him with a hammer or something. Snapped it. It's not working, Nana. It's not working, Nana. I need something a little stronger than that. So she finally get him off me. And I wouldn't see my father for a while after that until I had gone to college, traveled the world. I just got back from Germany. I was studying abroad over there, working with kids on military bases just during the war in Iraq back in the day for some childhood education classes and stuff that I was doing. And I got back and I ended up seeing my father, ironically, at another corner store, standing in front of it. This at the corner store in Toledo, the Spot. The spot over there on by that dirty McDonald's, ones with the rats and the roaches, they just got in trouble.
Which one?
Collingwood.
Ooh.
Door over there, right? So
in that plaza.
Yeah, the corner store is called the Spot or something. So I pull up in there. My father doesn't recognize me at first when I walk through, but I recognize him immediately because I'm kind of shook. I don't know what's about to happen. I'm like, is we gonna fight again? Or what I'm saying? What's the move? What it is, But I have been working on my relationship with God and stuff like that, and I knew about forgiveness and stuff like that. So, I heard Oprah and Ayanna, she was gonna fix my life. She was talking to me through the TV, telling me, you gotta forgive, it's for you, it's not for him, all that stuff. So all that stuff was in the back of my head. But I ended up walking in this corner store, getting what I need. I came out, my father looked me dead in my eyes, recognized me right away, and starts crying. And he starts telling me all the things that I did in my life that I didn't even know he knew. He's been keeping tabs on me. And he was just saying, I just want to talk to you. I just want to be with you, son. I love you. And I didn't know if I felt comfortable with the conversation. At this point, I wasn't even comfortable with dad. It was always sir. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I had to forgive. And I started bringing my dad to church with me. He started coming to church with me. Started picking up. We went to church. And I had one of the greatest, most amazing conversations that affected my life in an amazing way that I wouldn't have reached if I didn't forgive my dad. And my father asked me to teach him how to be a man. One day we was in church and we came out of service and my father asked me, he said, my biological father, he said, teach me how to be a man. I said, what do you mean? He said, all my life I had issues. I had problems I didn't know how to deal with. That's why I sold drugs. That's why I was in and out of prison. That's why my life ended up turning the kind of the way it is. He said, but you a real man because you honor God. And I could see how God has flipped your life around through all your chaos. He said, that's a real man. I want to know the God that you serve. Teach me how to be a man. My life changed after that. I always knew I was going to be successful. I did. Even as a foster kid growing up in my situation, I'm like, ooh, when I make it, did nobody want me? Watch this. Ooh, you're going to wish you knew me now. But then I realized at that moment that my success wasn't just for me. I had to go back and get my family. I had to go get my mama. I had to go get my daddy. I was the Joshua of my family, the Moses of my generation. That conversation changed my life that day. And I knew that my success wasn't just for me. It was for my family. for my generation. So I use that as fuel to break. I call myself the generational curse breaker. I broke generational curses in my family. Nobody, and it's all been because of my faith in God, and I'm living a blessed life because of that, and I don't take it lightly, and that's what I think a father is. Even though you might have made some mistakes, I honor my father, my biological father. I honor him because he was able to turn around. I have an amazing relationship with my father now. And I feel like all the empty places that was in my heart that I missed as a kid is now super fulfilled now because he stepped up to the plate after. He was able to be a man and recognize that he had messed up. And I was grown. I was grown when he came back into my life. But that was the conversation I needed to have. And it was a relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's still my daddy. I still learning about myself through him. Even as I spend more and more time just sitting on the porch talking to him. Him talking. I might not agree with some of all the stuff that he do. He'll tell you like, hey, because my daddy think he a pimp. but I learned a lot about myself. You know what I'm saying? And with my mom now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a blessing to have your parents in your life, man. Even after all the chaos, the trauma, and everything. It's a blessing.
I'm going to be open right now.
Yes, sir.
I've never really had a full conversation with my biological father.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude that my mom married really made it a point to make sure that I knew that he really didn't want shit to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted me gone as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
How do you start to repair that?
I honestly, and I don't want to sound cliche, but it's really my truth. God can heal anything. That's been my motto, man. It's some stuff that I can't explain in my life that people like, how your mom was a prostitute? You know what I'm saying? I used to fight every day in high school because my mom and my sister was on drugs and they was out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? The most drug dealers in my neighborhood was kids that went to my school. That's how I started my whole clown, dealing with trying to cope. Class clowning, making everybody laugh so they wouldn't talk about my situation because I was fighting all the time. And I don't really know how I overcame it, but my faith and trusting God is what healed me. Sometimes we don't have the answers. We don't know how to deal with stuff, but that relationship with God can heal anything. And I know that for a fact. And that's really how you heal. I honestly believe that he's the ultimate healer. That's how you heal. Relationship with him. People still amazed to this day. Like, I can't believe you went through that. They read my book. They like, wow, that happened to you too? This. How are you here? And I'm like, it's God. God can heal anything.
I envy you for this one reason.
We both the man, though. You need to know that, Chris. We both the man.
No, that's you. That's you. But you have faith that's like you can't shake it.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what. Like even for the last half hour that we've been talking, the majority of it is about your relationship with the divine creator and how into it you are with that.
Mm-hmm.
I envy you for that. And I'm actually humbled that I'm sitting across the table from you because you said some things with me that I didn't even know. Wow.
But the beautiful part about that is you don't have to envy it. You can have it too. We can have it together, brother. Real talk. You can have it too.
You and I will talk.
Yes.
You and I will most definitely talk. Because to be honest, just like you, I know that I'm going to be successful no matter what. You understand what I'm saying? I might have done some dumb stuff back in the day. I might have, you know what I'm saying? I might have made some mistakes back in the day. I might have done some things that I might think are irreparable. But I know that through it all, I'm going to make it. It's just getting there.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sitting across the table from men like you kind of help. You know what I'm saying? It helps let me know that the light at the end of the tunnel isn't always a train coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm humbled. And I appreciate it. And yes, you and I are going to be conversing outside of here.
You know,
And
you're
I
my
owe
guy.
you I owe and I said the same thing when I interviewed my homeboy Andre. I owe you an apology. Because I've had your number since Cracks in Her Foundation.
A stage play we did together. Yeah. Okay.
When you dragged me off the stage.
Yeah.
After
We was
your
playing
boy
gangsters.
Yeah. After your boy shot me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to come around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. I've always been the guy that people had around just so they could have somebody in the crew that they thought they was better than, because really they were the ones at the bottom of the totem pole. So I had to remove myself from everybody because I had to figure out why that was. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I lost touch with a lot of good people. And I didn't know how to come back, or if I was even welcome to.
Yeah.
So I owe you an apology for that. I should have been a better friend.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you saying that.
So yeah, my apologies for that, for real.
Okay. And I know you always been a gift, and you have a purpose in this world. And I already know that you've been an amazing person. Like even when we used to kick it back in the day, you know what I'm saying? We used to be out here. You always had a gift and knew how to control a room. And the world needs to see that, man. Offer that. You always been like that. So I have no doubt, man. I have no problem hanging out with you. You always been the solid. I appreciate you saying that, though. I appreciate it. But, you know, my number's still the same. It ain't changed. You know, I would like to hang out with you, too, man. I need more friends myself. I'm kind of like, I don't have a big circle of people that I hang around. It's usually me and my wife, or, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to hang out with my kids, or, you know, I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much it for me, too. So we need more men and brothers to hang out. I dream of that.
That's why
I dream of that, to have a solid that you can come and just have good conversation and real life talk with each other. I dream of a solid foundation like that.
That's why I started this platform, because
across the table, yes.
I started this platform because we need to talk. Like, we don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we don't. Our voices have been drowned out for too long. And they don't think that conversations like this exist. They think it's always dap you up, we drinking, we smoking, watching the game, or we drinking and smoking and talking about women and all of that. It's not real life. Let's talk about where you want to go in life. Let's talk about your relationship with the divine creator. Let's talk about what you want to do going forward. Let's talk about how I can help you get to where you're going. Let's talk about how you can help me get to where I'm going. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because those conversations can be healing, even if you don't say nothing, even if you're just listening. It could be somebody here, over there, you know what I'm saying? Or some people going to watch this and they're going to listen to us talk and have conversation, be healed. You know what I'm saying? I was healed. You know, I was molested by an aunt. And I never told nobody. I never talked about it. I only put it in my book, right? I put it in my book, but I was kind of scared, you know, to talk about me being molested multiple times. And I was like, how do I really want to put the book out now? I don't want everybody to know my business, you know what I'm saying? Everything like that. But I was forced to have that conversation because I put the book out. And now I can say I'm fully healed through the trauma that caused me of being molested by multiple people. You know what I'm saying? And that's just through conversation. Being able to have conversation, you know what I'm saying, can heal people. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, you know, it's definitely healing conversation. And a lot of men need healing. A lot of men need healing.
And that's because a lot of us have basically been told to shut up when we talk. Like, our voices don't matter. Mm-hmm. But now we're starting to see that not only do they matter, they're necessary. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
They're necessary.
Yeah. They matter. Not only do they matter, they necessary. Yeah, I like that. That rolled off. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's necessary. That's why you're starting to see a lot more male spaces come out there, because we finally got the green light to talk. Yeah. Now, there are some men that need therapy before they start talking.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have the green light is enough. You understand what I'm saying?
And listen to. We need to listen to. We need to definitely speak up. But sometimes it starts with listening. And listen and silent have the same letters.
Just spelled differently.
Yes. So sometimes we gotta be quiet and listen, and then so we can hear. Well, I like to say hear from God, and get it right. So say what I say through experience, because everything I say is through experience. I tell you my experiences and what God did for me or how I got through it, and I just project it to others. And sometimes that's what I need to hear. I mean, that's what somebody need to hear, or somebody telling me their experience, and it's what I need to hear. I've healed from other people telling. One time I was in church and I wouldn't hold this dude's hand in church because I thought he was a little flamboyant. And I was like, man, I don't want nobody to think I'm,
Like he had the broken wrist
He
syndrome.
had the same testimony I had. God tore me up. God tore me up. He said, who do you think you are? He said, who do you think you are? That dude told my story. I was almost in tears because I'm like, wow, he had a hard, like, God, wow. You know what I'm saying? But that was a part of my healing process. I needed to hear that. Because I used to think that I was the only one that go through stuff sometimes. Because us as men, sometimes we don't want nobody to know what we're going through. So that's why we come off so hard and not have the conversations.
Or if we talk, we soft. You know what I'm saying?
So we don't tell nobody or we hold it all in. That was like when the first time I realized that this happened to other people. Wow. And it was come from the most unlikely source. A source that I probably would have, nah. Hey, dude, you stay over there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I started getting healing from it. You got the same testimony as me? Conversation. God convicted me on that day because I wouldn't hold that man's hand. He said, boy, I'm about to snatch your soul out. Let me tell you something. God loves everyone. And we all made in his image and his likeness. We just got to figure out who we are.
Mr. Moss, I don't really give this one out too much, but it has been an honor
I appreciate you
to sit across the table from you today.
Appreciate it.
You and I will most definitely be in touch, and you will definitely be back. You will definitely be back. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Plug what you got going on so the people will know.
So I need everybody to go get that book, available anywhere and everywhere. Books are sold. I'm talking about Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. You can even get it at your local library. And we got the Audible coming soon. You know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to get that book. It's called Push, Pray Until Something Happens Every Day. It's how I navigated through the juvenile justice system, foster care, drug-addicted parents, mother in and out of prison, father in and out of prison. Mom was a prostitute, but faith got me through my journey to today. I'm Dr. Deonte Moss. Put some respect on my name. Holla at your boy Gucci, Soldier Boy, tell him. Drake. Honestly, never mind.
Oh, man. Again, it was an honor. And you and I will most definitely be talking. You and I will most definitely be in and will stay in touch.
Definitely, sir. Across the table.
Across the table.
I appreciate it.
Once again, this has been your episode of Across the Table, where the drinks are cold, the mics are hot, and the conversations are fire, with Dr. Deonte Moss, the nosy neighbor. Until we meet again in a minute.
Stay blessed.